Hello, I'm Richard,
And I'm Brian.
and together we're going to talk you through how to set up a meeting on Zoom.
We'll do this both as a group leader setting up a meeting and then as a group member taking part in a meeting.
We'll also run through the equipment that you will require before you set up a meeting.
And we'll teach you how to download Zoom, which is of course the important thing.
We'll be talking about using Windows 8 and above, and also an iPad and an iPhone and Android smartphone.
Yeah. First of all, I'm going to try setting up Zoom on an older laptop. This is one with Windows 8. And we'll have a look and see just whether we can do it with the older style laptops. And first thing I'm doing is clicking into Ask Jeeves, although you can use Google. I prefer Ask Jeeves, but that's just my own preference. And type in Zoom, and immediately up comes the option of Zoom. Click on that, and it goes and finds it. And there we are, we've got Zoom video conferencing with zoom.us, and the second one down is the download center, so Zoom US download, and I'm going to click on that, and that'll take us in to the option to download a copy of Zoom. Just go for loading it from a Zoom client, so that's what we're going to do. Right, if I close that,
Yeah.
and I click on download center, and click on that, and I'll now point out, and there we have it downloaded into the bar at the bottom of the screen. I just need to go down and click, just need to click on that, and it's all happening. It will ask for permission, and I say yes, and it's now downloaded. So if I minimize my browser, then we now have join a meeting or sign in. Now in this particular case you'll need to sign in, because when you sign in you need to give your email address, and that will then be your login for future meetings. Right, so you need to put in an email, and then sign in. And we then click through, and we are now able to use Zoom at any time. Now that's the version being used for Windows, and Richard will now show you the version being used for the iPad.
We're going to perform the same function again, but this time we're going to look at an iPad instead. Now I have an iPad set up in front of me here with all the apps to look for the Zoom application. So first of all, we want to go and find App Store. Press on it once, and we've got a new page that will give you several apps. Our first task is to go to the search button. There we are. And you're going to search on the top here. Your typing pad will come up at the bottom, and you just search ZOOM and enter. And we're looking for Cloud Meeting. Press on that, but now we want to download it. And open. and join a meeting. And now it is just the same as before when we did it on the Windows application.
So what do you need? Well, if you have a Windows laptop or a Windows PC with Windows 8 or above, then that will work fine. If you have an iPad with operating system 10 or above, and most modern ones have a operating system 13, then that'll work fine. You can also use an iPhone and in fact any kind of smartphone. So you know, the iPhone which I have here, it will work on that perfectly well, but it will also work on an Android phone. It just won't work on one of these really old things that you flip up and all you get is text. Now, your camera needs to be built in to the laptop or into your smartphone or into your iPad. Most laptops nowadays tend to have a built-in camera. If not, you can buy a camera to fit with this, and it will then plug in through a USB port. Sometimes it is recommended that you also bung on a pair of headphones when you're having your meeting. And the reason for that is simply it allows you to have your meeting without other people in the room being disturbed or hearing what's being said, which sometimes can be useful if you have small children around. And the other thing, of course, is that headphones mean that two people can be in the same room and on the same meeting without any feedback taking place.
What we've discovered is that if you have a Kindle Fire, or indeed an older version of an iPad, it won't work. So there are limitations to what you can use Zoom on. So no Kindle Fire and no older versions of iPad. As a group leader, I want to get everybody involved in my next meeting. So my first job is to open up Zoom. Right, as ever, we start on the Windows Start position. And in the menu, now, I should find Zoom. Now, as I use Zoom quite frequently, I can see it near the top on my menu. So I'm going to sign in. First of all, I need to type in my email address. Yeah. So what I usually do is keep it in a secure place on there, and I can just copy and paste straight onto the password pane, and I can sign in. And I've got four options: new meeting, join, share screen, or schedule. Unless you wanted to do an immediate meeting, what we would normally do, or what you would normally do as a group leader, is to schedule a meeting. So I'm going to schedule a meeting here, and it's given you schedule here and a little icon with the 19 on it. So we're going to schedule a meeting for this date, and I'm going to schedule it for 11, I think we're going to do it in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
50 duration. Now Zoom, if you don't pay a subscription to it, you are limited to the number of minutes you have a meeting for, and that usually is about 40 minutes. So I'm going to set the duration at 30 minutes.
Okay.
It gives you a question: is it a recurring meeting? If you want to do this over again on particular days, then you can set that one up. But for this purpose, we're just going to leave it empty for the moment. And there's a lot of other little bits of information here. Host, on or off. We're going to keep that off for the moment. And participants off for the moment. Now, you need a password for this meeting, which is given us O0VG1VV. So we'll set it up and we're going to schedule a meeting. And it's just press the schedule. Okay, and you're given a little certificate on this middle of the screen, which gives you all the details. It says here, Richard Keogh is inviting you to a scheduled meeting. Topic, Richard Keogh Zoom meeting on July the 9th, 2020. It gives you a time away. And join meeting. And there's the details of the website. The meeting number, ID number 71904169863, and a password of 0VG1VV. And I'm going to open to a clipboard. Now I've copied that to a clipboard, I'm now going to open an email and distribute it to the people I would like a meeting with. All I've got to do, I've got it on the clipboard, I've just got to press Ctrl V or paste, and it comes straight onto the email, and I can send it off to my recipient. As a matter of privacy and security, what is a good idea is to ensure that you send to multiple recipients. Their email addresses should go into BCC, blind carbon copy. That means a lot of people can't see everybody else's emails. And I think that's important for all correspondence when you're dealing with lots of people. You don't know who are going to be who these emails are going to be passed on to, quite by accident sometimes, but you don't really want emails coming from other people that you don't even know who they are. And this can accidentally happen. So for security and for privacy, please put all emails into BCC.
Well, it's a typical quiet day in Plymouth, and oh, I've just received an email. Let's have a look and see who it's from. It's from Richard, and he is inviting me to a Zoom meeting at 11:50. So all I need to do is to highlight the URL that has been sent by Richard, and then right hand click on it, and it'll say go to, and then that URL. Now that's one way of going into the Zoom meeting. There is another way which some people can use instead, and I'll show you that in a minute, but let's just click on this one and see what happens. And it launches a Zoom meeting. And we then can say open Zoom meeting, and it'll tell me, please wait, the meeting host will let you in soon. And the reason the meeting host can't let me in is because at the moment he's standing behind me with a camera.
Meanwhile, I was in another location, ready to start a new meeting.
Okay, so
Meanwhile, I had to get my skates on because Brian had sent a message to ask me to admit him.
and there we are. Richard has let us in, and all I need to do is join with computer audio and open up and click on start video. There we are.
Okay, what I'm going to do is open up the chat panel. This is a message. This is a chat panel. Okay, we have that or something of that nature. Now, to close the meeting, what I need to do is to go to the leave button located at the bottom right. I merely press on that button. I will get a second prompt to ensure that I haven't accidentally pressed the leave the meeting button prematurely.
And Richard has now closed the meeting on our behalf, and as a result, we are now off screen again. Earlier, we looked at how to join the meeting by highlighting the URL and clicking through on that. There is another option, which is to copy and paste the Zoom meeting code and then the Zoom meeting password into your Zoom icon. And that's fairly easy to do as well. Now, for all of you who have been listening to this and patiently waiting for us to talk about the iPad and the iPhone, let's look at those examples as well. And they are just as easy to use. Right, so for those of you who have been patiently waiting on us talking about doing a connection with Apple products, let's have a look at what happens with the iPad. And with that, all I need to do again is go to my inbox of my email, find an email from Richard Keogh, and open that up and click on Join Zoom Meeting. And it immediately wants to know, or it immediately goes to the same thing as before, which is that it's waiting on the host starting the meeting. And after that, it's much the same as we already have seen with the other systems. Now let's look at the same thing on an iPhone. If I pick up my iPhone, I can do exactly the same thing. I can go to email, I can download the email. There's one from Richard about the maths group, but I'm looking for the one that is going to come up about Zoom. There we are. And up it comes, and again a URL, and I just touch that, and immediately it comes up with waiting for the host to start this meeting. And once we've got that, once he's started the meeting, we'll be on and be able to talk to Richard again. And there we have Richard appearing on my screen, and I need to open up mine, and let's go to both on full size. So we can go to gallery view, and start video, and there we are, and we can now hold our meeting exactly the same way as we did with the version on Windows. Oh yes, I should say that the difference is that whereas before with Windows version, all the menus were at the bottom. This time the menus run along the top. You just touch the screen and you get your menus, and you can unmute and you can mute again, or you can start and stop your video. You can do sharing contents. It tells you that there are 2 participants, and there's various other things you can do. And again, just as before, you can leave the meeting by pressing the button at the top left hand side rather than the bottom right hand side. Such are the vagaries of Apple wanting to be different from everyone else. And it's much the same on your iPhone. One thing that it is important to remember with your using on Apple is your hand is going to occasionally wander in front of the camera. So do try, instead of using the hand where the camera is, which is this side, to use the one that is on the other side, and therefore it doesn't block your face every time you want to do something. It's also possible with my iPad, and I don't know whether it's possible with others, to put in a virtual background, just as we talked about before. And we can do that by accessing photos and putting in something weird and wonderful, like an image of an album cover, and that then can appear as a virtual background to your picture. And there we have it with our virtual background, and that works very well on the Apple, much better than on the laptop. I'm waiting for permission. Right, I have now gone onto my iPhone, and you'll see that there are now 3 people on the meeting, and the third one is me. And there we are. We now have the iPhone being used as well, and it is working perfectly. And I can, if I want, have the phone upright as it is just now, or I can turn it around that way, and the image will then correct itself, and it'll bring Richard into the picture as well, operating the camera. Isn't this just magic? So there we are. We now have the whole system of Zoom being used on a laptop with Richard, on an iPad with me, and on an iPhone with me, and all of them are working absolutely perfectly.
Just out of curiosity, presumably the menu will be at the top again, will it?
Let's find out. The menu is on the top and the bottom. So I can leave the meeting as the top right hand corner. I can have stop video or unmute on the left, along the bottom here, just like on the laptop. And I can change cameras to the camera in the front of the thing if I wanted to actually show you what is going on around me at the same time. Yes, so that's the various possibilities with the iPhone. Wonderful.
You can download Zoom in a similar way to the iPhone, either from Google Play or direct from Zoom. Once installed and you have entered a conference call, there are 3 illuminated dots. One to open the menu at the bottom of the screen. 3 more dots will appear to provide more menus. And there you have it. Me filming this.
Anyway, folks, thank you for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed and benefited from this video. And it's goodbye from me, and
it's a goodbye from me too.
bye for now.